Batgirl issue 3, Brian Q. Miller and Lee Garbett on the art. This is the end of the opening arc, 3-issue arc, establishing that she is going to be Batgirl, that Oracle is going to help her, is going to be aligned with her. And it's kind of funny that, you know, I was joking that we had this sort of similar Scarecrow went to detective. It's kind of funny how we also have in this book an Oracle relationship with someone where she's accepting that she's going to be this person's like wingman, or, you know, so, and obviously I'm comparing that to Birds of Prey. So there's an interesting
combination of books is what this is.
Yeah. So good stuff. So she's going after Scarecrow. Babs points out that Cassie's belt will have like a Scarecrow antitoxin in it. And so Steph's like, oh, that's handy, that's good. So she does that, and the issue for the most part is, you know, Scarecrow makes 2 of his henchmen fight with scalpels, which is really goddamn dark. This is the thing. I think of Stephanie Brown Batgirl as a fairly light, bubbly book, but even this, compared to that detective issue, the Scarecrow is a much darker character. I
mean, in that issue, he did make a guy jump out of X amount of stories high hospital window just because.
Okay, that's true. But I don't know, making 2 guys fight with little scalpels.
I know, I think the difference is this isn't as funny.
No, it's more horrifying.
Yeah, whereas just the sheer idea of what happened in Detective Comics, if I just say it like that, then it sounds really dark, but it's actually quite comical to watch, whereas this here is not played in a funny way at all.
No. And I was going to say that maybe that's a testament to this writing being much better, that it is able to shift to the horror aspect of it, but I'm not entirely convinced that in Detective it wasn't intentionally supposed to be funny, so therefore it's not a problem. It's not a fault of the writing, it's just they wanted
different
it to
time.
They wanted more of a hijinksy moment out of it. Batgirl swings in, of course, takes out some henchmen, faces off against the Scarecrow. Love the height difference. Scarecrow feels like he's 6'5", and she's like 5'5".
He definitely is with that hat on.
Yeah. So that's really good, and she fights him. But of course, the antitoxin's not working completely. He's giving her more stuff. She sees Tim in Scarecrow's place at one point, and then eventually herself, a spoiler. And this idea of the past is coming to, like, you know, terrify her and kind of talk her out of doing what she's doing. And the whole point of it is that it's building up to this big one. You know, her mask gets ripped, so she's got one eye exposed. So the art's really good in that sense. I love Garbett's spoiler. I think that spoiler costume looks really good in this issue.
Yeah, I love the way he plays with the shadow on the face and stuff. I think it's really utilized well.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then ultimately, you know, she's thinking of, you know, all this, and she's thinking about all this, and it's what I love is that she's kind of down for the count. She's getting beat down essentially by herself. She's getting beat down by Tim, but then by herself. A spoiler, but obviously it's really a Scarecrow. But obviously we take this more as the metaphor than we do the literal here, because that's what's in her head. And ultimately she's woken up because Barbara finally calls her Batgirl. She says, "Batgirl, wake up." She finally says, you know, essentially gives her permission is not the right word, but her, you know, it's hers to pass on, right? She finally gives her approval. Yeah,
I think because there's a moment earlier on in this issue when she's saying, "Oh yeah, there's a thing in the belt." She says in Cass's belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it's that distinction, just making it clear that it wasn't her belt yet.
Yeah, and I think it's saying something that as much as Steph is this independent character, like, she really needed someone to believe in her in this, and I think that approval from Babs is what gives her the strength here to kind of fight back. And she gets up and fights back. A beautiful scene, actually. We got all these like police lights out from the outside, sort of gets like making it a silhouette as they're fighting. And
it's pretty unique lighting because it's the way they swirl, but you've obviously got the red and the blue as well.
Yeah,
it's real interesting.
Yeah, and you know, he's like, you know, you're if you stay here, you've been forced to be, because she gives this speech about how people, you know, leave town or run away to escape, and you know, you stay behind for a second chance to actually face who you've been and accept your past and move on from it instead of running. And she obviously ends with the big full page of her saying, "I'm Batgirl," and kicks him in the face, and it cuts to, you know, Babs at the bottom of the page going, "She just might be." So, you know, it's a really fun moment of like them accepting each other, Babs accepting that she actually might be a new Batgirl, and Steph accepting herself, and the sort of love interest cop shows up late in the, you know, she puts on the gas pellet and escapes, as the bats often do, and she makes some waffles the next morning because of course she does, and leaves a message for the cop on his window. So Babs, she was reluctant to get involved with the Wendy girl who's playing basketball in the wheelchair, because Leslie was saying, hey, you can give her some advice, you can give her some guidance, you've got experience, and she was reluctant to do it, but she's willing to do it now. So it means that Babs is also accepting her past a little bit in the way that Steph is. So it thematically ties in. Babs gets a job at Stephanie's college, which, you know, she's I don't know. Did they actually say what her role was? Assistant professor. Yeah, that what. Yeah, so I guess she's
not librarian.
I guess she's technically teaching something if she's an assistant professor. So intriguing. So they set up that, which is, you know, again, a fun dynamic to set up for the series, that Babs is going to be around at her college, so she can, you know, I joke that I compare this to, you know, Buffy as Batgirl a lot, but this essentially puts Babs as the Giles who's there on campus for advice.
Yes, I know.
Come on, it's gold. So Babs takes Steph to the Batcave and says, okay, we have to do this oath with the candle. And she's like, this is more about me. You've already made the oath to yourself. This is about me making the oath to help you, to be by your side. Because this is the oath that I made with Bruce when I became Batgirl. And of course she gives her new outfit because she's earned the right to wear it. And her last page is her jumping down in her distinct Stephanie Brown Batgirl outfit with the purple sides, the hair flowing from the back of the cowl. Which, by the way, I love this outfit, for the record.
It's a good costume. Yeah, it's a good solid design. I really like the purple, which again, it ties in with a lot of Batgirl themes in the past anyway, but it really works with her spoiler outfit. You know, it's like an evolution. It's
taking the colour scheme of her spoiler outfit, but giving her the golden bat to go with it, which is a really nice touch. And I think, you know, obviously I love Cassie's batsuit for Cass, but one of the things that I do miss from Cassie's batsuit is the hair flowing out the back. And it doesn't make sense for Cass. I don't think she should have that, but I think as a return to that, that's the old school idea of the hair coming out the back of the cowl. I really like.
Yeah, I like it here. I think I get why you miss it with Cass, but for Cass, that's just it's in the way, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
In no circumstances would she want any potential weakness on show.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm not complaining. I think for Cass it's perfect that she doesn't have it, but you know, part of me has kind of missed it because I like the look of it. It's really distinctive versus Batman, right? It's this distinctive look that really separates them. So no, I really dig it. So no, that's the end of the first arc, and Steph's got her suit. She's got her mentor in place. This was welcome to the Batcave.
Yeah, I think for me this issue it's really solid. I do have a couple of problems. I think it's a little bit strangely paced. I think because this little back section that we've got, you know, with Babs, you know, in the cave, in the costume, all this stuff, I feel like it's rushed through a little bit for me. We spent maybe like 3 or 4 pages too long on the Scarecrow stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Half of the issue, and could have just done with a bit more time with this aftermath here, which is the big climatic beat of the issue and the arc as a whole.
Yeah, I could see trimming down the Scarecrow section a little bit, but ultimately I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it hits a lot of beats that it needs to, in the sense that it sets up Babs as a mentor and where she's going to be. It sets up, you know, her relationship with her mum, because she makes her mum waffles for coming home, so it reestablishes her balancing that part of her life with her Batgirl life. And it also, you know, brings back the love interest cop and like him seeing the message in the window, and she's done a little bat heart and he's like, oh, this girl's going to be trouble. Like it really feels like the end of a pilot episode of a TV show. It really is. It's put all the pieces in place, like, okay, here's all the elements we're working with going forward.
And I think that's where I feel the problem, which is something we often complain about in pilots as well, is this end section here after Scarecrow. This feels like the last 2 minutes of a pilot where you have the bit of narration from the lead character over the top, like kind of recapping, here's where we are going forward for the show. And I just feel like we need a bit more time on this stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. But no, it's still a really solid issue though, and I'm pumped. I'm pumped for more. So, what are you giving this one?
I'm going to give it a 7.5, just because of that little pacing issue. Otherwise, it would have been an 8.
Weaker on that Wonder Woman issue. You're absolutely crazy. I'm going with a solid 8.5 for this one. Loved it.